Hey all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and I'm out here in front of the greenhouse, and I'm actually giving the greenhouse a little bit of a makeover because I don't know if it's like this where you are, but it's spring here and it's mud season. So I'm out here, I'm laying down garden fabric, I'm putting down wood chips, and I'm kind of making a plan because I really would like this space to be somewhere where I can just go and put a chair and, you know, have some flower pots out here and have this just be a really nice, enjoyable space, as well as not being super muddy because I'm in and out of the greenhouse all the time. So this is my work area. This is where I do a lot of my work and just getting ready for garden prep. And I also have garden beds in the greenhouse, so I'm also always going in there and working, and then I'm starting seeds in here. So there's just a lot that happens in the greenhouse. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm doing in here as far as laying everything out, what I'm using, what I'm doing. So first off, I'll show you this here is garden fabric, or some people will call it woven ground covering. So I have this here that I've laid down, and also with this I usually will put this where I have any of the garden beds, or I have raised beds, or anywhere where I'm going to be having, you know, a flower bed or a walk area, because you want that on the ground. You want that covering on the ground so that you can, you know, not have to worry about, you know, stuff growing up. And then also this kind of helps cover the ground so there's not so much mud, and so it doesn't wear down the ground so much. So I really like using this, and I'll show you. It actually, when I get it, usually comes on a roll, so I'll kind of show you what that looks like. I'll grab that. So it's just a roll of garden fabric or woven ground cover is what I'm using, and I just laid this out, and then I use stakes, or you can use metal staples or anything like that. I'll kind of show you those. Let's see here. You know, these here, I just use a hammer and I'll place the ground cover where I want it, and then I'll just, you know, put these stakes in and they'll hold the ground covering down. And then I am putting wood chips on top of this. And if the ground isn't super level, you can always kind of, you know, level out the wood chips and kind of move them around where you want them. And, you know, if there's like dips or holes or anything, you can put more wood chips in that spot, less wood chips in another spot, but just kind of, that helps even everything out. And, you know, it gives you, you know, a nice walkway, or like in the garden, you can put that down and it's gonna help, you know, keep the weeds out of your garden. And I like to do raised bed gardening, but also I'm going to be doing some market style gardening this year. So I'm actually going to be, instead of doing the raised beds, which I will always do those because that's mainly how I garden, because raised beds are just easier to garden in. But I'm also going to be doing market gardening style gardening, where you lay out the ground cover, you'll put holes in the ground cover only where you're going to put plants, and then that way everything else will be covered, so you're not dealing with stuff growing up around your plants because you're planting directly in the ground. Everything else is going to be covered around your plants that you're planting in the ground. So, you know, instead of just having an open garden space where it's open ground and anything can just grow up anywhere, you know, you're only going to have a spot where that plant that you planted can grow up. So it's going to make it a lot easier to garden in that space in the ground. So I'm going to be doing that because I want to be producing in a bigger area and growing more food in a bigger area than just the raised garden beds. So this year I'm really focusing on growing a lot more things. So that's why I'm also adding that gardening style to how I'm going to be gardening this year. But so you can use that for around your raised garden beds. You can use that for market garden style gardening, or you can use it as ground cover, or you can, you know, lay it down to clean up a space like I'm doing in front of the greenhouse. I'm kind of cleaning up the space, giving in front of the greenhouse kind of a makeover. You know, it's tidying it up, and it's making it look nicer, and it's also, you know, making it a good area where I can walk back and forth and it's not going to get super muddy. So I'm doing that, and I just want you to, I'm kind of thinking of some things how I want this space. So like I said before, I'm kind of thinking of, you know, putting a chair, you know, like maybe next to the door here, and then, you know, some flower pots. And I'm thinking I might put like some stepping stones that lead up to the door. So I think that would be really nice, and I just want a really nice little area where I can, you know, go to and kind of, you know, I do a lot of garden planning and kind of thinking about what I'm going to be doing next in the gardening season. And, you know, I'm doing the homesteading, and I'm always, you know, thinking about the next thing that I need to be doing, you know, because with, you know, gardening or homesteading, you got to be thinking about that next season constantly. Like, you know, what do I need to do in a week? What do I need to do in a couple weeks? What do I need to do in a month? What do I need to do in 6 months? So I'm always thinking and planning stuff out. So to be able to, you know, have a nice space to come to and kind of think and plan out, maybe draw out plans or write things down, you know, kind of having a nice space to come to and kind of, you know, work and think and plan, you know, all that stuff that I'm doing, you know, that's going to be a good thing. So I'm gonna get back to work. I have a lot more, you know, things I need to do. I have wood chips to spread out, and, you know, more ideas, more thinking, more planning. So I just wanted to show you all what I'm doing, and thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.